AITA for making my cheating wife pay me back after she lost in court? Hey everyone. I don't usually post much, but I've been a lurker for years. I guess I just need to get this off my chest. Maybe someone has been through something similar, maybe not. Either way, writing it down helps me process it. My name is Daniel. I'm a 36-year-old man, and I've been married to Lila, 34, for 9 years. We have 2 kids, Grace, 7, and Nolan, 5. I work in IT. Nothing glamorous, just fixing things, providing support, making sure people can log into their systems. It pays the bills. Lila works part-time at a dental clinic, mostly as a receptionist. On paper, we're your average suburban family, but things aren't as normal as they look from the outside. The truth is, Lila and I have been in a bad place for a long time. The last few years have been nothing but fighting, silence, arguments, and more silence. The house doesn't feel like a home anymore, more like a battlefield where you're always waiting for the next explosion. It all started with money. Always money. We bought this house 5 years ago, and back then, everything was fine. We split the bills, shared the load, we were a team. But then my hours got cut at work, and instead of figuring it out together, everything turned into a constant blame game. She'd say I wasn't earning enough, that I needed to do better. Meanwhile, I was covering more than my share just to keep things afloat. Lately, she just flat out said she wasn't going to pay her share of the mortgage anymore. Just refused. I don't even know how to describe that feeling. It's like trying to hold up a wall with your bare hands while the person who's supposed to be helping is pushing from the other side. And the worst part is, she still made me feel like I was the problem, like I wasn't pulling my weight. She'd say things like, "You think you're such a man just because you pay the bills? Try doing everything I do. Try being me for a day." Then she'd slam the door and leave me sitting there, wondering how I could be the bad guy for keeping a roof over our heads. I tried different ways to cope. Sometimes I'd argue back, but that only made things worse. So I started trying something I read about online called gray rocking. Basically, you go flat. No reactions, no emotion. Short answers, not giving her anything to feed on. And it kind of worked. She'd yell, I'd nod, and eventually, she'd get tired and go quiet. But living like that eats away at you. I've been sleeping in the basement for months now. My bed is upstairs, but it doesn't feel like mine anymore. She said she needed her space, and I should respect that. At first, I thought it would be temporary, but weeks turned into months, and the basement became my new normal. Cold air, concrete walls, and me lying on an old futon thinking, how the hell did I get here? The kids notice. I try to keep everything normal for them. I take them to school, play with them, read them bedtime stories. I want them to have as much stability as possible. But kids aren't stupid. Grace asked me once, "Daddy, why don't you sleep upstairs anymore?" I told her, "Because I snore too loud and Mommy needs her rest." She gave me that look kids give when they know you're not telling the truth, but are too little to push it. That hurt more than anything Lila has ever said. I'm not going to lie, there have been nights when I just stare at the basement ceiling, wondering if I should just pack my stuff and start over somewhere else. But then I think of the kids. I can't leave them with her like this, not when she's always angry, always yelling. I can take it, but they shouldn't have to. This past year, I just hit a point of numbness. I was just going through the motions. Work, kids, chores, arguments, basement, repeat. And Lila got meaner. The words she used, the way she talked to me like I was worthless, I would stay quiet, but I was boiling inside. And the other day, it all finally blew up. It was last Tuesday, a normal day. I was working from home because our system was having maintenance and I needed to be on call. I was on my laptop at the dining room table, work notifications pinging nonstop, trying to help a user who lost their desktop icons. They had hidden them. The house was quiet, just the hum of the fridge and the sound of the neighbor's lawnmower. Around 3:15, I hear the garage door open. Lila's back from the pediatrician's office with the kids. Grace comes bursting in, talking a mile a minute. "Daddy, guess what? The doctor said I grew a whole inch." She's grinning from ear to ear with a sticker on her chest. Nolan trails behind her with a lollipop in his hand, already sticky. "You did." I smile, ruffling their hair, telling them I'm proud. Lila comes in after them, sunglasses on, ponytail messy, no hello. She drops her purse on the counter like it weighs a ton and starts pulling things from a pharmacy bag. Vitamins, a nasal spray, paperwork. You can just tell she's in a bad mood. I ask in a neutral tone, How was the appointment? She doesn't even look at me. Fine. Grace is still talking about the height chart. Nolan is showing me his Pokemon sticker. All normal. Then Lila lets out this short little laugh, but not a good one. A cruel one. You know what's not fine? She says, snapping her sunglasses case shut. The fact that I have to pay for all of this by myself because you refuse to do your part. I blink. We can talk about money later. The kids are here. She glares at me. Oh, now you care what they hear. I take a deep breath. Lila, let's not do this right now. She takes her glasses off, and her eyes are already lit up like we're in the middle of a fight. You think I want to? No. But guess who has to buy the vitamins, pay the copays, and keep this house running while you pretend to be some IT hero answering emails all day? Nolan looks at me, confused. Grace kind of hides behind my chair. I feel my jaw tighten, but I go into gray rock mode. Okay. She hates the word, okay, when I say it without any emotion. I know it gets to her because she feels like she can't get a rise out of me. She takes a step toward me, palms flat on the counter. No, it is not okay. You don't get to okay me when I'm drowning here. I try again, my voice firm. We will go over the budget after dinner. I will show you the mortgage dashboard and what's due this month. She rolls her eyes. There is no we in the mortgage. I told you, I'm done paying my share. The kids hear that, and I just want to disappear. Grace, I say, not taking my eyes off Lila. Why don't you show Nolan your drawing from the height chart in your backpack? Go on, champ. Grace gets the hint. She takes Nolan's hand, and they go into the living room. Not far, but far enough. I turn back to Lila. You can't just refuse to pay the mortgage, Lila. That's not how this works. She laughs again, that cold laugh. Watch me. I try to keep my breathing even. We are both on the deed. We are both on the loan. If you stop paying, you tank our credit. Whose idea was this house, anyway? She cuts in, pointing at the floor. You said we could handle it. You said you could handle it. And I am handling it. I say a little firmer now. I've covered every shortfall for the last 8 months. Oh, congratulations, hero. Her voice pitches into a mocking tone. You want a medal? You want me to bow down to you? Because you did what you were supposed to do for once. That stings. I feel the heat rise in my neck. I glance over my shoulder. The kids are sitting on the couch in silence, hugging a pillow. I turn back quickly. Lila, please, not in front of them. She walks past me to the sink, but whips back around like she's following a script. No, Daniel, this is how it always is. I say I'm drowning, and you say budget. I say I'm exhausted, and you say dashboard. You don't get it. You never get it. Then help me get it. I say, trying to offer one last calm bridge. Tell me what I'm missing. What you're missing, she says, her voice dripping with venom, is that I'm done subsidizing your bare minimum effort. I am sick of being the only adult here. You want the house? You pay for it. I am not putting another dime into it. Not the mortgage, not the utilities, not even the damn lawn. I almost laugh at the lawn part, because I'm the one who mows it every Saturday, but I stop myself. That's not what subsidizing means, Lila. Oh my God, she says, there's Mr. Actually, thanks for the vocabulary lesson, Professor. So helpful. She gives a slow clap. Silence. The air vents are humming. The clock is ticking on the wall. Outside, the neighbor's lawnmower cuts off, and now it's just our breathing and my heart beating way too fast. I can feel it pounding in my chest, wanting out. Then, without warning, she explodes again. You don't do enough. You never have. You coast. You ride on my work, my planning, my schedules, my appointments, my everything. And then you walk around all proud because you pushed a few buttons and the mortgage got paid. I don't walk around proud. You love being the martyr, she says, talking right over me. You think paying the bills makes you a good husband? Try being present. Try being a partner. Try being someone I can lean on without feeling like I'm carrying a third child. That last line hits exactly where she meant it to. I look down at my hands. They're shaking a little. I stick them in my pockets so she won't see. Lila, I say slowly. I'm going to count to 5. Then we're done talking about this until later. 1, 2. She laughs like it's a joke. Are you counting at me? Are you serious right now? She takes another step, too close. Her finger is jabbing the air between us. You don't control the timeline anymore, Daniel. It's over. The paying is over. The pretending is over. Your ridiculous gray rock routine is over. thinking you're some wise monk while I'm the crazy one. Don't call yourself crazy, I say, my voice tight. No one called you that. But you think it, she shoots back. You sit there with your okay and your little nods, and you think I'm crazy because I'm the one holding this family together. Stop, I say louder. You don't get to say stop, she yells over me. You don't get to tell me when I'm done. You don't get to tell me anything. You're a guest here. The basement boy. The words hit me like stones. Behind me, I hear the couch creak. Grace whispers something to Nolan. My throat feels tight. I try one more time. One last attempt at peace. We are going to fix this, but we are not going to scare our kids to make a point. Then she does her big finale. Arms wide, projecting her voice like she's speaking to a full theater. The kids need to know the truth. Their father can't even provide for them. Something inside me just snaps. It's not a dramatic crack. It's a small thing, like a thread finally giving way after months of strain. The words leave my mouth before my brain fully processes them. Shut up, I say, but it comes out louder than I meant. It echoes off the kitchen tile, down the hall, and into the living room. Just shut up. Even the fridge seems to stop humming. Lila's face changes instantly. The rage is gone, replaced by a wide-eyed mask. You heard that, she says loudly, looking toward the kids. You heard your father yell at me. Grace's head peeks around the corner, eyes big. Nolan has his thumb in his mouth. My heart sinks to the floor. Guys, it's okay, I say. I'm sorry I raised my voice. Mommy and I are just. Lila points at me like I'm a rabid animal. Don't you come near me, she says, backing up until she hits the counter. You're scaring me. The tone is theatrical, meant for an audience. I'm not. I say, my hands up, palms open. I'm right here. I'm not going to touch you. I'm not coming closer. She's trembling, but it's a controlled tremble. We're leaving, she says to the kids. Get your jackets. Nolan flinches. Grace doesn't move. I don't want to go, she says in a tiny voice. I want to stay with Daddy. Lila's eyes flicker, and her jaw sets. I move to the side, not blocking, but putting myself between her and the door, because she has that look like she'd drive off just to prove a point. You are not taking them in the car like this, I say, my voice low. You are not doing that. Get out of my way, she snaps. Call your sister, I say, or sit down. Drink some water. We can wait for this to pass, but you are not driving them right now. She takes a step forward like she's going to push me. I don't move. We're 3 feet apart, breathing hard. The kids are watching like it's a movie they don't understand. For a second, I think she's going to shove me. Instead, she grabs her phone, stalks into the hallway, and starts dialing someone, saying, he's being too loud. He's losing control, he's yelling. I don't feel safe. The whole script, word for word. I look at the floor and start counting in my head. 1, 2, 3. I look at the kids and force a smile. I feel nothing. I just say, it's okay, everything is okay. I can feel the choice in front of me like a fork in the road. Argue more and make it worse, or do what it takes to end this scene before it gets even uglier. I grab my phone. 911, what's your emergency? The operator says. My voice sounds strange, flat, too calm. There's a domestic dispute. No one is injured. I need assistance. Lila hears me and laughs, but there's no humor in it. Good, she says, call them. Let them see. I finish the call and put the phone on the table in plain sight. No secrets, no tricks. I sit down at the table, lower than everyone, hands open. I can hear my heart again, big and clumsy. Grace climbs into the chair next to me. Nolan follows, his little hand grabbing my sleeve. Lila is pacing in front of the window, muttering about how I've finally shown my true colors. I watch the front door and wait for sirens that never come, just the sound of a car crawling down the street. And that's how the fight ended, with no winners, no good conversation, just a heavy silence and a phone call I never wanted to make. The patrol car arrived slower than I expected. No sirens, just the steady crunch of tires on asphalt. Lila stopped pacing when she saw it through the blinds. She muttered, good, like she'd been waiting to prove a point. 2 officers came up the walk. One was older, with a buzz cut and broad shoulders that could fill a doorway. The other was younger, lighter on his feet, taking everything in. The older one knocked twice. Sharp. I opened the door with my hands low and visible, because everything in my body was telling me, stay calm, don't add fuel to the fire. Good afternoon, the older one said. His nameplate read Carter. We got a call about a domestic disturbance. Is everyone safe? Yes, I said. No one is hurt. We had an argument. My children are inside. The younger one, Miller, leaned a bit to see past me and saw the kids on the couch. Grace sat up straight like she was in class. Nolan half hid his face in a throw pillow. Lila came to the door, her voice firm. Officer, he yelled at me. I don't feel safe. Carter barely reacted. You could tell he'd heard every possible version of that sentence. Okay, he said. We're going to talk to you both separately. He looked at me. Is it okay if we speak with you outside for a moment? Yes, I said. I stepped onto the porch. The air felt thick, like the whole neighborhood was holding its breath. Across the street, Mrs. Gallagher's curtains twitched. Next door, the garage door would open like a stage entrance, and a gray SUV emerged. Our neighbor, Trent, pulled halfway down his driveway and stopped when he saw the patrol car. He got out slowly, head tilted, playing it cool. Carter led me down the steps to the sidewalk. Tell me what happened from the beginning. I kept it simple, because simple felt safest. We argued about money. She yelled for about 10 minutes. I asked her to stop. I raised my voice. That was my fault. She tried to take the kids in the car while she was very upset. I didn't want her to drive like that. I called you. Any threats made? No. Any pushing, shoving, anything physical? No. I didn't touch her, just stood between her and the door. He wrote a few things down in a small notepad. Any weapons in the house? No. Anyone else here? Just my kids. He looked over my shoulder toward the living room window. Did the children witness the argument? Yes, I said, and my stomach twisted. I tried to get her away from them, but it got loud. Behind Carter, in the street, I saw Trent pretending to check his mailbox, which was empty because the mail doesn't even come at that time in our neighborhood. He shot a clumsy glance my way, then looked away quickly, acting like he wasn't invested in the drama. From inside, I could hear Miller's voice. Ma'am, just take it easy. I just need your side. Take your time. Grace's little face appeared in the curtain, looking serious. She saw me and gave me a tiny wave. I tried to smile back, pretending this was normal, like I wasn't telling a stranger about the worst moments of my life. Carter asked a few more questions, standard stuff. I answered. He nodded like it was all predictable. After a minute, he said, Okay, I'm going to bring everyone back into the living room. We'll make a plan for tonight. Does that sound okay? Yes, I said. I just don't want her driving with the kids while she's upset. Understood. We went back inside. Miller was with Lila on the far side of the room, her arms crossed, chin high. She gave Carter a look I couldn't read. The kids were sitting together, their knees touching, the TV off. You could hear the ceiling fan and the ticking clock. Carter spoke in that calming, dad voice that settles a room. Here's what we're going to do, he said. Nobody is going anywhere for now. Everyone is going to take a breath. The kids are staying here, safe. We're going to talk about a cooling off plan for tonight. Lila opened her mouth, then closed it. Her eyes were shiny, but there were no tears. I want to leave, she said. He makes me feel unsafe. Carter was unfazed. You're free to leave, but you can't take the children right now if you're upset. Do you have a place to stay for the night? My sister's, she said immediately. Perfect, Carter said. That sounds like a good way to cool things down. You can pack a bag. We'll stay while you do. The kids will stay with their father tonight. If there are any custody orders we don't know about, now's the time to show them. There aren't any, I said. We're in the process. The words tasted like cardboard. Miller crouched down to get on the kids' eye level. You two doing okay? He asked in a kind voice, like someone who was used to nieces and nephews. Grace nodded. Nolan looked at me, then nodded too. Do you want me to call Claire to come get me? Lila asked the air, but she meant it for the officers. Good idea, Carter said. Let's keep everything calm. Lila went down the hall to our bedroom to pack. Miller followed at a distance, standing in the doorway. Carter stayed by the front door, relaxed but alert. He looked at me. You did the right thing by calling, he said. It doesn't feel right, I replied. Feels like I brought strangers into my family. He nodded. Most people wait until it's much worse. You didn't. From outside the open door, a voice called, Everything okay over there? It was Trent. Of course. He was walking over slowly, stopping at the sidewalk, playing the part of a concerned neighbor and not someone who'd just sidled up for a better look. Carter took a calm, firm step forward. Everything's fine, sir. Please give us some privacy. Trent put his hands up in that fake surrender gesture. Sure, Trent said. Just wanted to make sure the kids are okay. And then it happened. Nolan saw Trent, and his whole face lit up. He jumped off the couch and ran to the door, peeking around Carter's leg. Uncle Trent, he yelled happily, a huge smile on his face, like it was Christmas morning. He waved. Hi. Everything inside me went still, like all the moving parts just seized up at once. Grace's eyes shot straight to me. My jaw was half a second behind, and then I caught up. I looked at Trent. His smile faltered. Just a little twitch, but I saw it. He looked over my shoulder, down the hall where Lila was packing. Hey, champ, Trent said, his voice loud and friendly. Not a great time. Maybe later. Yeah. Okay. Nolan replied, like that made all the sense in the world. He backed up, bumped into my leg, and grabbed my hand. His fingers were sticky with melted lollipop. I didn't care. My head felt bright and empty at the same time. Carter looked from me to Trent and back again. He clocked the weirdness, but didn't say anything. Sir, he repeated to Trent, we're fine here. Trent got the hint this time and took a step back, but he didn't leave. He just stood there pretending to look at his phone like he'd just gotten a very important text from the universe. Lila reappeared with a small overnight bag, keys jingling in her hand. She saw me, then looked over my shoulder and saw Trent. Her mouth did a strange little twist before settling back into place. She didn't say his name, didn't say anything, just gave me a look that said so, and walked past me like he wasn't there. Carter kept his professional tone. Ma'am, do you have a ride? My sister will be here in 10 minutes, Lila said, her gaze distant, like a TV with a bad signal. All right, Carter said. We'll wait. Claire arrived in her old minivan and parked behind the patrol car. She came inside, gave Lila a quick hug, gave me a look like I was a math problem she didn't have the energy to solve, and then looked at the officers. It's fine, Carter nodded. Ma'am, he said to Claire with a small smile, your sister is staying with you tonight. We expect you both to keep your distance and let things cool off. Lila went to the kids. Her voice finally broke a little. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. She kissed Grace's head, then Nolan's. Grace hugged her back stiffly. Nolan held on for a moment, then let go. Lila looked at me, something unreadable in her eyes. Then she turned and left with Claire. They walked past Trent, who suddenly found the nerve to play the friendly neighbor again. Everything okay? He asked with a look of false sympathy. Get back in your house, Trent, Claire said without looking at him. And he did. I noticed. Carter handed me a card with a case number on it. If anything escalates, you call again, he said. Otherwise, tonight is about being calm. Get the kids dinner, go to bed early. Tomorrow, you two figure out the next steps. Probably with lawyers. You got support. Yeah, I said, though I wasn't sure what that meant. They left the way they came, without drama, just the soft click of the door. The car's lights flashed once, and they pulled away. I closed the door, and the house felt 3 times bigger. The next morning, I was on autopilot. Cereal, backpacks, kisses on the forehead, but my mind was spinning on one thing. Nolan yelling, Uncle Trent, like he'd seen Santa Claus. After I dropped them at school, I walked through the house, half expecting it to give me an answer. It didn't, so I checked the things that could. The bank app, a string of charges from the Loke Street Cafe, at times that didn't match up with any family outings. The phone plan, the same number showing up again and again, short calls at all hours. I saved the number as T and stared at it. The house hummed like it was hiding a secret. At noon, Lila pulled up with Claire's van behind her. Trent was parked at the curb, pretending to look at the clouds. I stood in the doorway. Lila grabbed clothes without making eye contact. Trent didn't cross the lawn. No one said anything, which said everything. When they left, I wrote the time down in a log, because if I can't have peace, I can at least have facts. That night, I found the rest by accident. Lila's old iPad lit up on the counter. She never logs out. The message preview didn't even try to hide it. T. Last night was perfect, same spot tomorrow. T. Miss you already. I opened it. And yeah, I know. Don't talk to me about privacy when my son is calling the neighbor uncle. Messages going back weeks. Doors open. Kids are with Claire. Half an hour. A picture of our dog, Cooper, sleeping on Trent's couch. A picture of Lila's legs on that stupid coffee table I can see from his window when I mow the lawn. Little inside jokes that only exist when two people are too comfortable. I called Lila. Voicemail. Called again. Voicemail again. Fine. I looked up Claire and called her. She answered quickly. Daniel, are the kids okay? They're fine, I said. My voice sounded hollow, distant even to me. I'm just going to ask you one thing. Don't dance around it. A pause. Okay. Did you know about Trent? Silence. Not fake silence. Real, thinking silence. I could picture her on her couch, deciding whether to lie for her sister. When she spoke, her voice was softer than I'd ever heard it. Lila needs a real relationship, Daniel. What is that supposed to mean? She needs to feel like herself again. Claire sighed. She deserves to be with someone who makes her feel alive. So she knew. I swallowed it like a stone. You're saying the neighbor is the solution? Don't twist it, she snapped. Then her tone softened. I'm not saying this is right. I'm saying she's been empty for a long time, and he showed up. Showed up? How? I asked quietly. The kids were asleep down the hall. You want me to lie to you? She said. I won't. You two disconnected. She just admitted it first. I didn't disconnect, I said. I shut down because she screams in front of our children. That's not the same thing. I'm not the referee here, Daniel, Claire said, sounding tired. I'm the sister who gets the crying phone calls at midnight. We were quiet. The iPad was still open next to me, hearts on the screen like a band-aid on a bullet wound. Is she with him right now? I asked. That's not my place to say. You've already picked a side, I said. It's just not mine. Claire didn't argue. That hurt more than if she'd yelled. What are you going to do? Document everything. Call my lawyer in the morning. Keep the kids stable. I looked toward their bedroom door. And tell her to stop lying to them. No more daddy is scary. The danger is the mess she's creating. I'll talk to her, Claire said. I don't want the kids to get hurt. One more thing, I said. The Uncle Trent thing. Did she tell them to call him that? A long sigh. They asked what to call him. She didn't want to confuse them. That didn't just happen, I said. She made it happen. That stops now. I'll tell her, Claire murmured. Good night, I said. Good night. I hung up. The kitchen was too bright. I added another line to the log. 9:14 p.m., messages confirmed. T was Trent on the iPad. Called Lila. Denied twice. Called Claire. She says Lila needs a real relationship. Deserves to be with someone who makes her feel alive. I went to check on the kids. Grace's hair was fanned out on her pillow. Nolan had one sock on, one sock off. I sat on the floor by their door and leaned my head against the wall. And then, the house finally said something. It was the kind of quiet that makes it clear the storm isn't something happening outside. It's right here, and I can't pretend it's just the weather anymore. I didn't sleep after the call with Claire. I just sat there with the iPad, the messages, my stupid log, and decided I was done being the guy who just reacts after the fire has started. The next morning, I called a lawyer as soon as his office opened. I sent him everything. Screenshots, call logs, the bank statements, the officer's card, even the note about Nolan saying Uncle Trent. He called me back quickly. Okay, he said, in the tone of a mechanic who's seen this exact breakdown 100 times. Paper beats emotion. We're filing for temporary custody, exclusive use of the house, and a no notice pickup clause. Until this is stable, exchanges are at the police station. Communication is through the parenting app only. You document. I argue. You do not improvise. 3 days later, we had an emergency Zoom hearing. I was wearing a dress shirt on top and gym shorts on the bottom, with my heart in my throat. Lila logged on from Claire's house, her face like stone. The judge looked tired but sharp. My lawyer laid out the police report, the yelling in front of the kids, and the neighbor entanglement. He showed the messages. I watched Lila's jaw tighten, like she was chewing gravel. The judge sighed, the way people do when they've heard too many versions of the same mess. Temporary orders as follows, he said. The children will remain in their school and primary residence with the father. The mother will have visitation 3 evenings a week, supervised by the maternal sister for now, no overnights. Mother may not remove the children from school or daycare without written consent from both parents. Exchanges will be conducted in the precinct parking lot. All communication through the app. We'll review in 30 days. Lila's face turned red. He's turning them against me, she said. The The judge held up a hand. Not today, ma'am. Click. Hearing over. The paperwork came via email. My lawyer texted me. Breathe. Stick to the order. No chatter outside the app. I printed 2 copies and left one at the school office to be filed. The secretary read the bullet points and gave me that look that only mothers can give when they're on the kids' side, not the adults. We've got your back, she told me. That should have been the end of the day. It wasn't. 3 days later, Friday, 2:10 p.m. I'm in the school parking lot before pickup because my stomach has become a clock. The phone buzzed, unknown number. I let it ring. Then the school called. Mr. Cole, we need you to come inside. The hallway just felt wrong the second I walked through the door. Too many still adults. The principal met me at the office entrance. She's here. Lila was at the counter, sunglasses on indoors, her voice too loud. I'm their mother. I'm signing them out. You can't keep me from my children. The secretary, a total pro, slid the court order across the desk like a referee showing the rulebook. Ma'am, we cannot release them to you without written consent from both parents. Lila ripped her glasses off. This is harassment. Lila, I said quietly, we have the exchange tonight at 6 p.m. At the station. You'll see them then. Don't do this. She spun on me, her eyes sharp, and something in her clicked into action. She turned and started walking down the hall toward the classrooms. The principal moved to block her, but she slipped past. I followed, not running, just keeping pace, because running would make it worse. At Grace's classroom door, a teacher came out. Ma'am, you can't be here right now. Lila shouldered past her and walked into the room. 20 little heads popped up like prairie dogs. Grace shot up so fast her chair tipped over. Mommy. Lila grabbed her hand. Get your brother. We're leaving. A school resource officer appeared out of nowhere, calm, his hand open. Ma'am, I need you to stop. She didn't. She dragged Grace toward the hall. I stood between her and Nolan's classroom, not touching anyone. Don't do this. She looked past me like my voice was background noise. Nolan, she yelled. Come on, honey. The SRO stepped in front of her. There's a court order, he said, firm but calm. You can't take the children. Take a breath. And then she did something I didn't think she would. She pulled hard, trying to drag Grace past him. Grace cried out. That was enough. The officer blocked her. The principal helped. I backed away, just like my lawyer said, no contact, no yelling. As they were guiding her back to the office, she was still screaming. They're mine. He's brainwashing them. By the time the patrol car arrived, the school was on a soft lockdown. They escorted her outside. She didn't calm down. She tried to pull away to get back inside. They restrained her. Claire showed up 5 minutes later, her eyes wide and sad. I told her not to do this, she said to me. Then to the officers, she's not thinking straight. The SRO's report wrote itself. Attempted removal in violation of a court order. Disruptive conduct on school grounds. Contempt. The officer filed the report immediately, and the judge on duty signed a temporary no contact, no school pickup, family center visits only order that same afternoon. Visits went from 3 evenings with Claire to 2 hours, supervised by a stranger behind a two-way mirror with a notepad. Lila had to take a parenting class. Her phone number was blocked at the school. The system doesn't care who deserves what. It only cares about what you did. Trent texted from the T number. This got messy. I never wanted drama. I ignored it. A week later, Cooper disappeared and a different car was in his driveway. 30 days after the hearing, my lawyer put it all together. The police visit, the iPad messages, the school incident, the order violation, and my log. The judge gave me primary custody, her visits supervised at the family center, exchanges at the police station, exclusive use of the house, and ordered Lila to pay half the mortgage, taxes, and insurance. Plus 8 months of back pay. Since I had covered her share during that time, the order stated she had to reimburse me $9,600 on top of paying child support. Her money dried up fast. Liens, collections, her credit tanked. She moved in with Claire, and Trent slowly faded out of the picture. She started calling nonstop. I never answered, and every voicemail was the same whispered message. I'm sorry, I messed everything up. Please call me. I still keep the log, just in case, but it's shorter now. Tonight's entry will be simple, 7:52 p.m. Grace drew a picture of our house. Nolan asked about a dog named Noodle. Dishes done, Lights out, quiet house. If you liked it, don't forget to leave a comment and support the channel by subscribing. See you in the upcoming stories.